Welcome to our hot air balloon class. This is the card portion of the game night fun, and so we are doing the hot air balloon photopolymer stamp set and the dies along with the DSP. So we have the DSP here. And then we are using the twine, the baker's twine that goes with it. And we are doing the embellishments, if I could see where I put them. We're doing the rainbow adhesive backed dots. And so all of this can be found on page 32 and 33. This is the suite, lighter than air. And so I'll move that over. And so this is the stamp set, the dies, the paper, the twine, and the embellishments. And so you can do it as a collective suite, or you can just do the stamp, you can do the dies, or you can do it as a bundle and get a savings of 10% and get it for $45. And so this is what we're using tonight. We're using all of it. We're doing the paper, the stamps, and all the little extra pieces here. And then some of the cards are where if you don't have the dies or the stamps, you could use what stamps you have on hand and then use the paper that's out of the kit. And then some of them we're doing stamping with die cutting, and then some of it we are just doing some embossing and different, like dry embossing, and then using some of the paper. So because this paper is it's really pretty. I love this paper. Some of it has like clouds. On one side it's like different shapes, on the other side it's, you know, more subtle. So this paper is very pretty. So with the kit you'll get a portion pack of the DSP, you'll get a whole pack of this, so you'll get all of the ribbon, the twine. I can't remember if you get a whole pack of the embellishments or just a half, and if it's a half, just cut up the middle and things like that, but I can't remember if it's a whole pack of this or not. I'll have to check that later, but we will get started. And so I'll move some of this out of the way. I think we are using just about every stamp in this stamp set except for the hang in there and this one. I don't think I used that. The clouds, the two baskets, the flags that hang off, the hot air balloons, this ribbon piece here, we're using all of those, but we're not using everything that's in here. It's just there's so many options that you can go with. So with what I've chose for tonight, we're using about half the dies and almost all, about probably 3/4 of the stamp set. So anyway, I like whenever we can use as much of the product as, you know, as we can. So we will get started with our first card. And so for our first card, we have, let's see, we have Lemon Lolly, and that is a piece that is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. And let's see what else we have in this envelope. So it'll come all packaged in an envelope like this for you, but I'll probably fold this down so that it'll fit in there better. Excuse me. And then move this out of the way. Get all of our bits and pieces. So our DSP, this is 3 by 4. We also have a piece that's 1/2 inch by 5. We have Bubble Bath that is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then we have the banner, and I have a secondary one in here in case I would make a mistake, so I'm going to set that off to the side. And then the DSP that I'm bringing into this one is the one that is all of the hot air balloons. I've just trimmed some of these little bits and pieces off so it would fit in the envelope, so we're going to use some of these. And then we have a piece of basic white, and this I believe is 3 1/2 by 5. And then we have a Stitch Stylish circle, and that we are using that for some embellishments or extra on the front. And this is the color palette that I'm using for the whole class tonight. Is Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, Mossy Meadow, Lemon Lolly, Balmy Blue, Pool Party, Fresh Freesia, and Highland Heather. Now the Pool Party, I think I'm going to do that a little bit different because I used Pool Party, and I'll show you at the end of this card what it is that I think I'm going to do different. So I'm going to pull out the Highland Heather ink. For this card. Set the others off to the side for right now, and we'll get started. Because on this circle, I used a blending brush. So I have that here. And I put color onto the circle, and I just didn't like the way that it looks. So I think when I do this one, I'm going to leave it off, and then I'll show you the other one, and then you can choose which one you think looks best. So then, and I'll explain how I did it. So I gotta grab my glue real quick. And my different things like that. So I have my glue. And I'm going to add glue to the 4 corners of our piece of DSP that is 3 by 4. I'm just going to add some glue to the corners. Just stuck my finger right in the glue. I'm off to a great start. Alright, so I've got a little bit of glue here on the front, so when that dries, I will use my glue eraser on that. So I need to get it off my fingers here. I've done a lot of the die cutting ahead of time so that maybe it would make card class a little bit quicker. So I've added that. I'm going to grab my glue eraser because that ought to be dry by now. Just kind of remove what kind of like stuck out there. It doesn't take much to do that. So now then I want to take and add glue to the back of this piece here. So I added the DSP to the bubble bath layer. I'm adding glue to the back of this. And then I want to add it to this, so that opens correctly, off to the right here and a little higher than center. About like that. I'll bring in my banner. And my Highland Heather ink. And the words up, up, and away. Hooray, it's your birthday. So give that a moment for the ink to adhere. Okay. And we'll close that up. I'm going to take this piece here. This is the inside piece. And I want to take the glue and just add just a band of glue. I don't go clear to the edges because it'll end up squishing out. Then I'm going to take this 1/2 inch piece by 5 inches, because this is a 3.5 by 5 inch piece of basic white. I'm going to add that here on the side. Open this up. I'll do just a small band of glue, and I'm not going clear to the edges. Same way with down here, and then kind of through the center. Pick this up. Now if this was hanging over, now would be when you would trim it off, but it looks pretty good to me. Just lay that on the inside, so that gives the inside a little bit of interest, just adding that little piece of DSP, and it's part of what was trimmed off when I was cutting for the front piece. So there's that. Alright, so now then I want to take this circle, and I might ever so lightly, but this has some blue on it from before, and I might just lightly add a little bit. There's not very much on there, but it added a little bit of something to it. And then I want to put dimensionals on the back. I want to sit this over here to the right, and I'm going off this piece of the bubble bath, having it weighted towards the top. I'll take this, add dimensionals to the back of it. This up here. So I want to make sure it does not go off my edge here. So about like that. And then I want to choose what one of the, so this is a 6 by 6, and this piece is cut from there. This piece was cut from there, just so it fit in the envelope. And I think I'm going to take this piece, and then I'm going to fussy cut this out, and I'm going to do both of them. So I'm going to have 2 balloons. My glasses on so I can see the line a little better. And if you move the paper as opposed to the scissors, you get a better control. And try to stay right on the line of the outline of the hot air balloon, so that I don't really have too much of the blue showing. And when I get down to the little basket, I don't want to get too awfully close, but there. So then that's what we have. That's what we have once I've cut it out. And then I want to put glue on the back. But then down here at the very, very bottom, right down here, I need one of my mini dimensionals. I'll stick that right down there because it's not going to stay on the circle. To do that like that, and then I'm going to bring in the blue baker's twine and just make a bow. So just made 2 loops and then crisscross the loops and tuck it through. And just pull on those ears. And I can hold that knot and then pull the ends. And I can make it as big or as little as I want. And I can also make the ends go whichever direction that I want. Grab some glue dots. Take your pick tool. I'm going to roll this up to a little ball. That glue dot is right there on there. I'll put it right here at the bottom. Bring my bow in. Tack it down. Trim off the little ends. See how cute that is? Okay, and then I want to bring in my dots and just kind of sprinkle them about on the card. And these dots are kind of a matted color. And I want to grab my Wink of Stella, because I love Wink of Stella. And this part up here, I'm just going to add, just brush it on. I'll skip the center part, and then I'm going to brush it on down here. And that is our card number 1. Now here's the one where I added the blue more to the back circle, and I felt like it made it stand out more with the white behind it. So you could do it either way, and I just took the blending brush, picked up the ink, and just rubbed it on the circle till I got it the color that I wanted. But here's the one I just made, and the one I made with the blending on it already. Whoops, one of my dots popped off. Moved as well. It's not pressed them on hard enough. There we go. So that's card number 1. All right, so card number 2. This one's got a few extra elements. Oops. It's got bits and pieces here. I'm going to move my stuff over here to the side. Clear up my space a little bit. And the ink that I need for this is the I need fresh freesia and balmy blue, and then Highland Heather, I believe, are the three for it. All right, so this embossing folder came from a pack that is the basic 3D embossing folders, and you get 3 of them, and this one's the polka dots, and almost looks like a golf ball. And so you get all 3 of them, and I believe they're in the online store. They're not in the catalog, I don't believe. And we're using all 3 of those tonight. So I'll set my envelope over here to the side, and we will get started here. We have a piece of thick basic white, and it's 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So we have that. Excuse me. And then we have a piece of balmy blue, and it's supposed to be cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and for whatever reason I cut it at 4, but I cut it at 5 1/8. So this one's a little bit short, but your kit will have the 5 1/4. And so we have that piece, and then we have fresh freesia, and this piece is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then this is a piece of the DSP. The back is the scallopy, and the front is the diamond shapes, and that is 3 inches by 4 inches. And then we have a scrap of lemon lolly for the little flag banner, but I went ahead and cut that out. And then I did cut out my hot air balloon and my cloud and my basket, but this basket's already stamped, and this one's is already stamped, but I'm going to show how when you get the pieces that you can stamp them when you have them. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the fresh freesia, I do believe is the color that I used. And the piece that I need, let's see where I put my little bits. Alright, so fresh freesia is the one that has the 4 lines on it. So the piece that has 4 lines. Okay, and then I'll bring this in, and with it being photopolymer, it's a little bit easier to line up. And then I want to bring in the balmy blue. I did re-ink these, and in re-inking them it made them a little splotchy. So I'll bring in the balmy blue. That, so you can ink on the die cut, and then you could do the basket the same way, but I already have the basket done, and so set this off to the side. I'll use it for another one. Bring in my little mat here, and this is our it's a silicone mat, so that I can bring in my bits and pieces and add glue, and then the glue gets stuck to here and not your work surface. Now my mat, I have a mat here that is also a silicone mat, but I'd rather be able to just move on to the next thing, so I like my little silicone mat. So I'm going to take and so you could stamp it first and then die cut it out, or you could stamp after you've die cut. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and then I'm going to add dimensionals to the back, and I'm going to put one of my dimensionals so it covers the basket and the hot air balloon part. So like that. I'm going to let that sit right here for right now. Now we're going to go to our card. Add glue to the back. Remember, I do the corners. I'm not getting real close to the outside edge. So this is just a wee bit short, so I'm going to center it. But with yours, you will have the right measurement. And then with this, I'm going to add glue to the center part of this piece. Not going clear to the corners yet. And then I want to offset just ever so little. So like that. If you don't like that look, you could, it is measured so that you can mat it directly on it and not offset. Okay, and I want to bring in my pieces here. And add them. Move the backings. Just using the outside edges of my dimensionals. I don't like to waste any of that. Just not in the shape of the dimensionals. I'm going to add this to my, oops, I forgot to add my ribbon, or my twine. So I'm going to take my pieces of twine, lay them all out together. So that's about, I'll measure it. So 12, about 20 inches, I believe. So I'll cut them all. So I'll take them all, and I'm going to wrap it around the center part of this piece here. And then tie this in a bow. So I'll use my reverse tweezers for this. When you've got all three of them, it's a little bit harder, but it's not bad because it's kind of thick. So now I'm going to hold the knot and pull on the tails. And then pull the loops, hold the knot. And pull those. And I'm going to leave it like that for now. And then bring in my hot air balloon. And I want to put it up here, tilted just a little bit. And this, the banner here, that's the flags, I want to add glue to these little bits of the flag. Okay. Before I stuck that down, I should have trimmed, but that's all right. I'll put that along there like that, and then I'll just bring my scissors in and clip that away. So there's that. And then we have a cloud. And I want to add a mini dimensional behind this on the left. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the right side. And a little bit will do you. Take this backing off. Just kind of add that there like that. All right, so there's a piece that I can't find. We'll use this piece. It's a little bit bent, but it's all right. I'm gonna make it work. So this Highland Heather, we want the saying that says, just a note to lift you up. So I'm gonna ink this up and then stamp it to the left with a little bit of a space. Take my scissors, trim that away, and then stay with that same. I kept them going in the same angle. I want to add glue to the back of it. Over. I'm just going to slip this up underneath here. And then take our scissors, trim those away. So you may not need 20 inches of the twine, but it makes it easier to tie if you have that. And then let's add these. You need to press those down really hard because for some reason they are not wishing to adhere very well. So there we go. So there's that. And then on the inside, what we just stamped here. Grab a Post-it note here. Do the fresh freesia. Stamp off. And stamp. Then we're going to take a balmy blue. Stamp off. Oops, better do that again. Stamp off. And stamp that. And then the Calypso Coral, I believe, I used for a little basket. There. So that's that. So that is our second card. Here's the one that I did before. And it's a little bit lighter, so I re-inked the ink pads, and so it made them a little bit darker. So I could have probably stamped off, but so there is card number 2. All right, so move these out of the way. I hope that you like this set because I love this hot air balloon, and there's so much that you can do with it. Now this next card, we are doing a fun fold with it. I'm going to use these pieces again, so I hadn't put them away. And this piece, we are using this one of the embossing folders, and it's kind of like a star effect. There. It's kind of like that. And then we're also using this scalloped edge for the from the scallop contour dies. Okay, so this is a new set. I have 2 sets of these. So what I did was bring this all out. So I cut a piece of thick basic white at 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And then I took and moved the score line over to the 3-inch mark, and I did a little tick on each edge of this. So let me show you. So if this was the whole sheet and this was the one that was on this side, so this is the score line. If this was a whole piece, I move this score line down to the 3-inch mark right here, and it doesn't have to be exact. And then I took and I did a little tick mark here with the scoring blade, and I did a little tick mark here. Then I took this die after I made those tick marks, and I laid that on the tick marks and then ran it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and that's how I got this edge. And that's how I kind of made it where it was stepped in. And so it did. So this here, I put this score line on the 3-inch mark. So clear over here. And I put a little tick mark on each end, and then I put this die on those tick marks and then ran it through, and that's what I have left. I hope that it makes sense explaining it. Okay, so this is our card base. Take my bone folder, crease it. This has several bits and pieces to it, but it goes together fairly quick. Okay, so we have a piece of Pool Party that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we have another piece of Pool Party that's 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. So this is 2 5/8, 5 3/8. And then our DSP, this is 5 1/4 long and it's 2 1/2 wide. Then the piece of basic white is 2 inches across and it's 4 3/4 tall. And then I ran it through this embossing folder. So that is the image that you get with that embossing folder. When you emboss it, it looks different here than what it looks there. Okay. So then we have, let's see, piece of Petal Pink, and this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then our other piece of DSP, and this is the one with the clouds on it, and this is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And a piece of basic white that's 2 1/2 by 3 7/8. And this is a scrap piece of that DSP. And I'm going to slide this in my circle punch here, and I'm not going all the way to the edge, so I want to leave a flat edge here, and I want the clouds, and I'm going to pop that out. So that is like this piece that I just made here, that I already had, but that's how I made it, was I just slid it in and did that. And then we have the banner piece here, and then we are going to use this trio of the hot air balloons. So I want to trim those out. I'll cut them away from this other first. And then this one here, I'm also going to use. So I'm just going to fussy cut these out. And they're fairly easy to do. I love the colors in this paper. I love the designs that they have in this. Okay, so there's that one. And then I need to do the 3 of these. So it's bright and festive. You could use any color. I mean, if you've ever been to see hot air balloons, you can see that they have them in all different colors. And so you could pick whatever color combination that you want. But I really like the ones where they've already got this paper that already has the hot air balloons on it. I'm not 100% if it would, if you could use the dies with this paper or not. Usually, if we've got a suite that's got paper that has the images in the paper, there's usually a die of some sort that will cut them out. So it's a possibility. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know that for certain. But I probably, when I'm playing with this, will try to see if I can find which dies would cut out any of this paper. But when I'm doing a trio of them, you can't cut more than one out at a time that way, so you have to fussy cut it. So that's what we're doing. Alright, so there's my pieces. So we will get started putting this together. Alright, so we're going to layer these, but I want to fold just a little bit of this piece here. Not much, just a little bit. And then I want to take glue and just put it on this piece that I folded. I want it to be a little straighter than that before I do that. Before I put the glue on it. I want my edge to be a little straighter. So I'm going to just add a bead of glue, and then along this edge I'm going to fold that over. So I'm just sticking that on there like that, just like that, and then we're going to glue this almost did it backwards. So you want to put the glue on the polka dot side, because you want the clouds to show. Okay. So like that, and it's got a little bit of wiggle room if it slides on you. Okay, now this piece we're gonna put over here to the, oh nope, I need to add another layer. So I'm gonna add the white layer to the cloud layer, and then this I'm going to add to this top corner. So like that. I'll set this over here to the side and let that be all gluing together. And then this piece here, this is the pool party that's 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to add that to the inside right here. And you want the top side and bottom to be equal. This inside part, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do that. And then you want to put a small bead of glue, not real close to the edge, but along this edge. I'm afraid to squeeze it too much. I don't want it to squirt all out everywhere. And then along this bottom edge, so not on the scallop, just at the top and the bottom edge. And then you're going to close this over on itself. You want to hold it. You can use tear tape if you want. The glue works fine for me. Okay. Put a couple of those on there. Now we'll go to this piece. All right. Alright, so we're going to now layer this. And we want the tall, skinny piece of DSP, we want to put the glue on the cloud side. The one we put on here, the more shorter, wider, you wanted to put the glue on the polka dot side. And this one we're doing the opposite. We're putting it on the cloud side because we want the polka dots to show on this side. And then we're gonna, this is just an 1/8 inch smaller than our cardstock. Okay. And now we are going to glue that down to our card front. And you want equal on the sides, the top, and the bottom. The scallops, it'll come just to about the point of the scallops. That's the reason why I counted over 3 inches from the score line so that I could do that. Alright, so this, now that it's dried and adhered, it slides inside little pocket that we made. So that will go right there. And then we're going to finish. So with this, we want to bring in the Calypso Coral twine, and about midway, and I'm going to have a tail hang over. I'm going to wrap it around a couple times and cut. Then I'm going to grab my dimensionals and add it to the corners. And on either side of the twine, but not on the twine. Now, I haven't tied my twine yet. I want to lift it up and make certain I've got plenty. So I think I want it to slide a little bit. Because I'm going to tie a bow on the right hand or the left hand side. Okay? So now then I'm going to center that onto the polka dot. That'll work. Once it sticks, it sticks. And then now I can tie it. I can use my reverse tweezers here too, but I don't generally need them, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the tails alone for that for right now. And then I want to put dimensionals on the back of this. So I'll cut some more of these. So I'm going to add the longer, skinnier pieces kind of down the it's like this one has a little tail on it. I'm gonna make it go down the hot air balloon to where the basket's at. Alright, so then we'll pull all these backings off. This one does have several bits and pieces to it, but I think it's super cute, so I think it's worth all the little extra pieces. And if whoever gets this, it just tore it apart. So now I gotta fix that. I just ripped it. So when you make mistakes like this, you've got to figure out ways to fix it. So I'm going to add my hot air balloons down here, like that. And I need to try to put this up underneath. Kind of like that. And you're none the wiser that it tore. Here we go. So there is that. And then this here, when you slide it in, you can tuck underneath. And then they see that, and you can pull it out. You can put a gift card on the back of here if you wanted to, you know, put a glue dot on the back. You could add a gift card. And then this is where you would sign. But I'm going to add a sentiment. I don't remember what color I used, but I'm pretty certain that I used Pool Party. I'm going to do the up, up and away, hooray, it's your birthday. So down that bottom corner, so then it's hidden whenever it's in the pocket. Okay, so there's that. And then this little banner, we're not finished yet. We're going to take the word Big Wish, stamp it right there. Okay. Alright, now we're going to add glue across this hot air balloon. And take our banner and glue it right there. And then slide this back in. bring in our little embellishments. You gotta press them hard so that they will stay put. Okay, so there is our third card. I just love this one. I think it's really cute how it's got all the different elements and with all the different elements and then all the different colors. And then you can slide this out. Makes a little pocket card. Now if you didn't want to do the pocket, you could have just have this be the front and put a strip of DSP right here. But I like this one. This is one of my favorites. I like this embossing folder. I think it's cute. So you can slide it in all the way. You can have it out a little bit. But I slide it in enough that you can't see the words. Okay, so that's our third card. And our last card is coming up. Alright. And I have another thing of dimensionals because I love dimensionals. And this one is using the third embossing folder out of that bunch. And this one's a bit of an unusual color combo, but I think it's a pretty color combo. Getting all my pieces. All right. Alright, so for this one, we have a piece of Calypso Coral, and it is 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. And then we have 2 pieces of Mossy Meadow, and this they are both 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have 2 pieces of basic white, and they are 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So that's our layers. And then we have the banner out of the set, and then we have the 2 different clouds out of the set. And these are the baskets. I'm going to show you how, like what I did. Alright, so I need Calypso, and I need the crumb cake, Mossy Meadow, and Lemon Lolly. So the first one that I need are the larger pieces to make the hot air balloon. This piece and this piece, and then we need the basket with the scallop. Okay, so that we're going to do 2 different sizes of hot air balloons. So this one we're going to do in Calypso Coral, And bring in Lemon Lolly and the scallopy bits. And stamp that like that. And then you can do this color combination. Stamp it in Lemon Lolly. And then take the Mossy Meadow stamp like that. And then our other one, we're going to use Calypso Coral again and do in the Mossy Meadow, we're going to do the 4 pieces of the hot air balloon. And then the 3 pieces in Calypso. So you can make it whatever color combination that you want. And then the little baskets, need that one again. So this card is not using any of the DSP, but the little baskets, you can use the crumb cake and stamp. Oops. And then the other little basket. Stamp. So there's that. And then our banner, we're going to use the words up, up and away, it's your hooray, it's your birthday. We're going to use Calypso Coral. Stamp it right there on that banner and hold that so that the ink can adhere to our basic white. Move that away, that looks pretty good. I like the photopolymer because then you can see what it is that you're stamping and where you're putting it. And then through the awesomeness of being filmed, take these and it can become these. So I can go ahead and glue those together. I think the ones that I'm going to use are these 2. I'm not going to use that one. I don't think I can use it on another card. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back. Touch this to that piece there so that there's not as much glue. Glue the bottom of my hot air balloon. Same way there. Oops. I'll go ahead and flip these over. This one here I'm just going to leave because it's gluing together, but I'm going to add a dimensional to that to hold that together, because we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. Getting off screen, sorry about that. So we have those ready. We're going to add some dimensionals to the back of that as well. Getting everything ready. And we will now work on our actual card. So I'm going to take my piece here, bring it together, and score or reinforce that score line. And then we're going to add this piece of basic white to one of the mossy meadows. So like that. I'm going to open this up and we're going to add it to the inside. So I added an extra layer to this inside to give it more interest. Things we're not using any DSP. Put it like that. Okay. Now then we're going to bring this piece in, and I have a scrap piece of paper here, and I need my balmy blue and my blending brush. We'll start off here and then just add to the center. And I'm just swirling it around. I'm not doing the whole thing. And then you put it in the embossing folder. Line up this edge with that straight line. That helps you to... You run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the thick plate. And this with the binding going into the machine first. And then with the gray thicker plate on top, I think it's plate number 4. And when it comes out, this is what you have. So it just has a very little bit of blue with the embossing, the dry embossing on here. And we're going to add that now to our mossy meadow. We're almost finished. So just center that on there. And then pretty certain I did dimensionals. So with each one of the cards, we have different elements. One of them used, you know, DSP, and we cut the hot air balloons out of the DSP. Putting that on there like that. This is going to be a landscape card, by the way. Okay, And then we've done some where, you know, like this one has no DSP. So I'm going to take these and I want to look at where I want to place it. So I think I'll put that one there. So I just want to add glue. I'm going to add glue to the back and on that little basket. So just a little bit over halfway maybe. Glue it down. This one we have the dimensionals. And some of them have the twine. Now this one here, you can add twine to it, but let's see if I can. Nope, it's already stuck well. I was going to raise it up just a little bit more. I think I'd like to have it a little higher, but that's okay. Bring this one down just a little bit towards the bottom. So like that. And bring our birthday greeting down here to the bottom. Kind of like that. About some clouds. So I want the mini dimensionals on the back here, just on this left side, and I want to add glue to the right side. Have it overlap like that. And then this one here, bring up here. So I'm going to add the dimensional to the right side of this and add glue to the left side. Hope I said it correctly on the last one. Just bring that up there, and then we can add some of these around. So just sprinkle them around. It's just trying to give it some like that. And then on the inside, so I have this one that we did before. What I think I'm going to do is bring in the crumb cake. I'm going to slide this up out of the way just a little bit. Stamp the basket. Add glue to the back of my hot air balloon. And then overlap my little basket. And have it kind of go off my inside layers. And there we go. I have an idea for another card, and so there might be a bonus card, and if so, it'll just be, I'll record it separately and then just add it to the end of this one. I don't know if I'll get it completely done or not, but hopefully I can. So let me clean up my space here. And you can add more clouds. You can, you know, do what you want. It's your project. But I love the embossing folders and enjoyed using those with this set. I love you could add twine to this one if you wanted. I chose not to. So here's card 4, 3, 2, and 1. So they can be really festive. This one here, because these are such bright colors and fun colors. This one here I didn't trim my bits off here. The tails are too long. You can add, you could add your twine to this one if you want. This is not the one that I did here. Here's the one that I did because I like the white on it. But anyway, so these are really bright and festive colors. This one's a little bit more muted, so you could make it whatever. You could do Clips of Coral and Night of Navy. You could do lavenders. You could do whatever color you want, because when you go to a hot air balloon festival, you have all sorts of, you have red and green, you have red and black, you have, all different colors. And so I was trying to pull the colors from the paper, and the paper colors are Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Lemon Lolly, Petal Pink, and Pool Party. And so I was trying to pull the colors from the paper packs. With Stampin' Up, they are wonderful about coordinating their colors and coordinating their papers, and so they make it easy for us. They show us, like with the paper packs, what colors that we could use for our cards, and so I just think they're so cute, and I had so much fun designing these. So I hope that you enjoyed this class, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment on which card that is your favorite, or anything that you would have done differently. I love the comments. I love learning what other people would have done, and then I like to hear which ones that are their favorite. This one is my favorite. It has the most details to it, but I just like that it has this little extra little surprise whenever you open that up and slide that in. And then probably my next favorite would be the Lemon Lolly, because I like the Lemon Lolly color. So but anyway, so card 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so anyway, I hope that you, if you took this class with me, I hope that you enjoy putting yours together, and happy stamping. Thank you.